Alright, this video is for those of you who are commenting on the video I posted yesterday on the hike I did up to the Hollywood sign. We kept saying this pack is 40 pounds. It's a little lighter right now because I don't have full canteens of water or the food that I had on here. And you know what? I don't know. I told Corinne it felt more like 30 pounds to me. She kept saying, oh, that's 40 pounds. I didn't put it on a scale. It's going to be in that range. I think it's at least 30 pounds. But I figured, I want to mention a couple things. First of all, some of you get it. There was a comment from somebody who said, are you just doing that for the exercise? Yes, this is called rucking. It's called rucksacking. It's what we did in the service. This is how you condition your body to be able to handle this stuff. This is a pretty decent, relatively bare bones bug out bag kind of setup right here. I'm going to take out what I have in it and tell you a few extra things I'd put in it, but this is bare minimum what I'd want to be out in the middle of nowhere with. Somebody made the comment, oh, you're going heavier than the people on the PCT. For people who don't know, the PCT is the Pacific Crest Trail, right? People hike from, I think it's Mexico to Canada. And yeah, they go ultra lightweight. Now, of course, there's people that carry this much weight. Some of them carry more weight. There are people that do it with a lot of weight. Ultralight backpacking is a whole other world, and I understand it. But the PCT is a different mindset. You know, you're trekking along, you know that you've got destination stops, you know you're going to come to towns, all that sort of thing. This is more the sort of thing that you have if you basically want to stay away from people, for the most part. All right? And again, I just carried the weight because that's what you do. Now another thing, I have not hiked that, I've not done that hike in quite some time. I'm heavier than I need to be right now. And I am not in condition. I should not have did that yesterday. There was a comment from a guy, 40 pounds, you know, it's too much weight on your shoulders. I'm not going to lie to you. On the way up, I had some pain up in here because I'm not used to the weight being pulled on my body like that. But by the time I was coming down the mountain, it wasn't bothering me at all anymore. I got that used to it. And something you need to realize, if you've got a pack that weighs 30, 40 pounds and you think you've got in there what you need, and you ever have to hoof it with that weight, well, somebody on a bicycle playing their music loud, which real quick, on that hike, we were fortunate. We didn't walk at the same pace with anybody else with their music blaring. A lot of people came down the mountain towards us with their speakers going, with crap music. I don't know what you people are listening to. I don't know why you think you need to listen to music on a hike like that. Put the earbuds in. That's what they're for. I don't want to listen to your music. Don't want to hear it, especially when I'm hiking. So stop that stuff. And if you're like me, say something to those people. That's nonsense, man. Anyhow. Coming down the mountain is the worst part, right? Because you're coming down some pretty steep grades and you got the weight on your back and everything. So there's a lot of extra force being put on your knees. So yeah, my knees hurt by the end of the day, and even into this morning. I feel pretty good right now. A little bit of thigh soreness is about it right now. I'm feeling really good. I was a little wiped out yesterday, but today I feel pretty good. If you carried this for a few days in a row, your body's going to get used to it pretty quick, and you're going to be in better shape for it. You're going to burn off some of that flab that you all need to burn off, including me, and you're going to be able to handle it. But I'm going to tell you, 40 pounds is about max where you should be with some of this stuff. You can haul up to a third of your body weight, basically. So think about it in those terms. And I do have an aluminum frame for this. If I put this on the frame, and maybe I'll do that for the next hike, it's going to guaranteed it's going to feel lighter and be a lot more comfortable. I got one right above you. It has the pack and the frame and everything. I've got a few of these frames, so I might set that up for myself. But let's get into this. Let's see what your view is. And, you know, before we even start showing you what's in it, I know I've got to go over these mods because people have asked me how I mount this. So I get to show it to you right now. This is the lid for the MARPAT, that's Marine Pattern Backpack. And what I did on here, let's get you in here close, is right here I laid it on and I had to cut holes so that I could run these straps to the top of the A.L.I.C.E pack. This is a nice old A.L.I.C.E pack here. So I run the A.L.I.C.E pack. There's square metal buckles right there, and I run these straps on there, and that's how I'm running that. Okay, 2 slits right through that material. I did the Fastex buckle. Let's see if this is on screen. It is. I did the Fastex buckle upgrade for the lid. Okay. And then what's going on here is we've got the lid. So I ran the lid, the original lid straps come through. They come through the top here. And then they're attached to the straps that are part of the Marpat right here. Then I continue them around. I put the Fastex bubble. I run the excess over the top. So I got plenty of excess that are still here. This green is all part of the original A.L.I.C.E pack. I cut the buckle off. I glued the end here with some heat so it won't, I melted that. And so now we're golden here. The another part of this here, there's a Fastex buckle here on the side. That's part of the Marpat. You can see here I've got a green strap going through and under. That goes underneath this part. This is the part of the A.L.I.C.E pack that fits over the top of the aluminum frame. So this side piece here wraps behind here, right? This is the nylon webbing that's part of the A.L.I.C.E pack, which I'm running this canteen on now. We'll get to that in a moment. So I run that behind here, up underneath here, and that is running right up through the same strap system that the shoulder harness is attached to. All right? So you guys have that all worked out now. That should be all pretty self-explanatory. I've got the upgraded, better padded camo shoulder straps. I bought a bunch of these years ago. I think I have 1 set left. I'm running a sternum strap, which you want to run as well. I've got the old school Timex. This took 80 winds. It was still running today. I just wound it 40 times. So that tells me this will run for 48 hours before you need to wind it again. Something you might want to be aware of. You've got your D-rings down here at the bottom. And again, that's how your shoulder straps, you put it through. There's a loop on the strap. You stick it through. You run this whole strap back through it. And that's the way that you run that. When you're wearing this will slide back and forth. You want to try to adjust it so you're here. The one thing I noticed was I was bottomed out on my shoulder adjustment tightness. I got that to here, and I felt like I could have snugged it a little bit higher. And so for me, what I want to do in the future, this was plenty of padding for me, but I could see running a thicker pad under here to lift it higher up on my shoulder, shorten this distance, so that when I pull this super tight, I'll be able to get the pack to ride higher up on my back. That's if I don't want to run the frame. Okay, so these pretty universal, these are modern Molly 2 canteen pouches. I love these things. So the way that I ran it, this is a Nalgene version of what the military uses. All right, this will work with all the military pouches, and including the canteen. There's a canteen in here, and a stove is in there as well. The stackable stove, so I could start a fire underneath it. But this also has a lid, so you don't need to use this as a canteen cover at all. These pouches can be used for anything. Just run this back through here, clip this down, and now you've got a pouch. This could be a first aid pouch, it could be an ammo pouch, it could be a dump pouch, whatever you want it to be. Carry food in it. They're extremely versatile. You can buy this stuff surplus on eBay for next to nothing. At least you used to be able to. That's when I bought it all. 10 years ago or more, you could find this stuff on there. So all I did was run the Molly. Oh, this is unsnapped. There you go. So I'll fix that later. But I run the Molly straps right through this top strap. And then I was running this here, which is a carabiner, right, through the Molly straps to this piece of webbing that is part of the A.L.I.C.E pack, and that keeps these things from flopping around. There we go. Just to follow through, again, these Nalgene canteens are great, but I'll go ahead and I'll pull back a little. I guess you could see this. Not sure what's on screen. This is the left side of the pack. In here I have, and I just threw this in here. This is a little survival tin. I used to make these kits. I've got a little compass in here, some earplugs. I've got survival stuff in here. There's a whistle. Basic, real basic, simple thing. Nothing extravagant. A Cub Scout could make this. It's no big deal. Typically I have electrical tape around this to make it waterproof. On the other side, I have a fire starter kit basically. So I've got cotton in here. I've got a lighter, big lighter, candles, some Vaseline, things like that. So it makes it real easy to start a fire. Again, what I had on here were the Ranger bands, which was bicycle inner tubes, but they eventually fell apart. That's how old this is. So I got to run the electrical tape around this to seal it up. It's not super important at the moment to me, but I'll take care of that. And I know I can get this in here. I just took it out. It's fighting me for some reason. The video wants to be longer. Okay, that's this canteen pouch. In the other canteen pouch, a canteen, as you would expect. But in these outer pockets, let's see what I have in here. This is just some lip balm, but again, this is really good for, this is flammable, so you can rub this on some cotton or something else to help you get a fire going. And on this side here, okay, just simple stuff. I got an old school Leatherman and a Swiss Army knife. It's funny, I've got so many of these and I forget where I put them all. And they're all a little bit different. So this one I think has a saw, which is great. So these are in here. These are items you might need pretty quick. Now, I don't typically put anything in the main large compartment on this. I'm usually just feeding out of these 3 lower pockets and this lid here. Again, this is the Marpat lid. Got a lot of carabiners on here. There's a lot of different things you can do if you got some rope, which is something that's not in here. If I intended on taking this someplace right now, I'd probably have at least 50 feet of line with me, and I can rig a saddle for myself if I had to get down something, whatever. Carabiners come in handy. Even if you just had food in a bag and you want to use a carabiner to help pull your bag up into a tree or something and keep it away from animals. In here, in this upper lid here, not even sure what I have in here. All right, I got myself, this is a good quality, it's actually a hollow handle knife, but it's the Schrade Survival SCHF1. This is one, people say it's 2 pieces, it's not. This is 1 piece, I believe it's 1075 steel. I've got a survival kit in here. I've got some lint in there to start a fire, and there's a lot of your typical survival stuff in here. This is a good knife. This is a good survival knife. This is not your everyday use sort of thing. One thing about round handles, you can see this has some use with it already. It's very sharp still. This is okay because it has this flat spot on it. Here and here. And this does help you index the knife a bit in your hand. But overall, round handle knives, typically you can't. If they're all round, it's kind of hard to index it. But with this, at least I can find where it is. So if I wanted to fling this thing around a bit and use it for different purposes, I kind of know what's happening with the blade. It's important. This is a K-bar sheath this knife fits in. I've got plenty. I like this because it's got 2 points of retention. It's nice and slim. Got plenty of extra cordage on this. And inside the pouch on here, look at this. I've got another, talk about redundancy, huh? I got another Leatherman, and which I need to put this somewhere else. I don't need 2 Leathermans in this kit. And this is great. So I've got a fire starter steel, sharpening for the serrated edge on that, and sharpening for the rest of the blade. So this, I need to buy more of these. I think this is excellent. I've used this quite a bit, and it works. So pretty good. I'm pretty efficient at using spark to start fires. So what else is in here? This is a bivy sack. I know that I have a Wooby in here, which would be your poncho liners inside the bag. So with the poncho liner in this right here, I can survive just about anything. That's pretty good. All right, more redundancy because I know this is a shovel. I think this is a Glock shovel. I don't think I paid for this. I think this was something that came to me. I think there's a saw in the handle as well. If I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. Yeah. Saw blade. So this, you punch this through the handle. You stick it in, put the handle on, and you've got a saw to cut down some limbs. So this is a nice piece of kit to have. And you guys understand how this works. You just tighten this sucker up, and now you're good to go. There's a way to turn this so it locks, and I think we got that there. So that's locked, and it's pretty good. I'm just looking at this for sharpness. So yeah, if you sharpen an edge on here, you got yourself a nice little beheading implement. You know. Sorry. So there's that. See what else we have in here. How about if we put that away correctly? Trying to make this go by as fast as possible. All right, we're still in the upper pouch here. We got a little bit of TP right here, not much. We've got more lip balm. Oh, good. We got the Sawyer filter system, which is what you want, so I can get me some clean water. And I got some aspirin in here, which I'll tell you right now, on the trail sometimes, if you need to sleep at night, you got a bunch of body aches because you've been carrying this friggin' 30 to 40 pound pack around all day. This will help you fall asleep at night. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put this TP in there too. No point in that being in a separate spot. It'll fit. This is over 30 years old alone. I said redundant because I've got this. This is typically all you need for your little cat hole. Keep in mind, when you dig your hole, you know, it's one of those things. You could literally poop on the ground. You just don't want to leave your paper everywhere. So this helps with that. Cheapy masks. This is not for like, I'm nervous because somebody's coughing around me. This is more like I'm out in the desert and there's wind blowing everywhere, which one of the things I need to get for this is a good set of desert goggles. So I've been out there. If you guys saw on Wonder Hussey's video around Halloween when we had that party, I had goggles. Everybody else was like this, and because these windstorms were kicking up. And I had goggles on, so I was happy. I've got a little rope in here. This comes in handy for all sorts of things, but this is more like a jute twine. This will actually help with starting a fire as well. So, okay, that's it for what's going on inside here. We'll just go ahead and put this back right now. And make this nice and easy. Having a knife on you is just your basic, you need a knife, man. I've got other knives, I got better knives. This is just what I keep in this sort of kit. Good stout zippers on this unit here. Alright, we're going to get to these now. This just happens to be what I have in here, okay? This is not a pro setup. This was after I broke down another kit you guys saw me do a video on. I just threw a bunch of stuff in here. This is coffee, instant coffee. Military grade snare wire for booby traps, that sort of thing, but it'll also help you procure food. And I've got this here, the rations. I've tried these. They're actually not bad taste-wise. This will save your life, man. It's pretty much emergency only. And look at that, more of these cheapy masks. Which again, that's also a fire starter, or you can wipe your butt with it if you run out of toilet paper. Dual purpose stuff here, people, you know. What's next? In the middle, I picked this up. It's kind of a goof. I picked this up at, oh, look at these. These are these date things that my friend brought. I had 2 bananas in here and a bunch of these date things here. This is a waterproof container from Harbor Freight. I don't know how impact resistant this is. I suspect if you really punch this hard, you could get it to shatter. But what I like about it is that it fits in here. I've also got 2 dog collars in here. That's because on the bottom of the bag, there's 2 sewn in place patches. And if you run the dog collar through there, I can run a wool blanket under there or anything else I want to carry underneath the pack. I've got these and they work great. I've used them many times before on other rucks that I've used. All right, let's see what's in the final pouch. Well, we got some baby wipes. We got a little first aid. We got Quick Clot, which is good. And there's a little mini first aid kit in here. More TP. Plastic bag for packing your garbage out. And that's it. That is it. Never underestimate the need for carrying TP and baby wipes. Baby wipes alone, I mean, just those things are wonderful. And you know, face, hand, face, pits, groin, in that order. And then inside the pack, in the main pouch, there's nothing in the big main pouch. This allows me to pick stuff up as I need it. Oh, wait a minute, I lied. Look at that, I lied. Okay, I've got me a casualty blanket here. I didn't know I had this in here. So this is a nice large tarp. Reflect your body heat. So you can put this on the ground as it's wet out, or it's a tarp, right? You can set this up for shade, keep the rain off, everything else. That's wonderful. I didn't even know that was in here. And then on top of that, in the radio pouch itself, I've got a Marpat poncho liner. You guys know. You should know what this is. It's just a blanket, and it's wonderful. I've got a friend, he did all his cold weather training in Norway with this. He didn't use anything else. He used his poncho liner, and he got through all that with it. So that's it. That's what I have in this ruck. So now you know. And this is not packed to the gills. And of course, as somebody else pointed out, I mentioned a moment ago, you don't want to pack one of these things to the gills and have over 40 pounds in it, because it would be uncomfortable to carry. All right? I get it. But here's the thing, people. I'm just, I'm in this weird spot at my age. That's where we're at. All right? I'm 57 years old. And yesterday I did 6 miles with this pack on. I did 3 miles up, 3 miles back. And I haven't done that in quite some time. So for me, that was a test. If I could carry this at my age, in my condition, knowing I'm not in great shape, it makes me feel like I'm in pretty good shape. It makes me realize I'm in better shape than a lot of the other people out there. And I really should be doing this at least once a week. At least. And at the worst, once a month. And I used to do that hike. I used to do that hike up there 3-4 times a week back in the day. On top of that, I was riding a mountain bike from my house up to just underneath the Hollywood sign there and back. You know, I would do a 3-mile mountain bike ride up these roads that were like this. I would push myself so hard, it would force me to vomit. And then I'd wash my mouth out and I would just keep going and get it done. That's how I always trained. And it goes back, you know, to the service. In the Marines, that's, you know, that's what you did, you know. And it makes me feel good that I can still do those things. I'm doing sets of 15 pull-ups right now, working out. Every day I'm doing at least one quick set of 15 pull-ups. And I know I can do 20 or more if I wanted to max that out, but I don't feel the need to push it that hard. So all I'm doing is doing this stuff and showing you in hopes that it inspires you to get up off your ass and start doing something, because there's no excuse. I've had ligament reconstruction surgeries, scopes. I've had 3 ankle operations, knee operations. I've had motorcycle wrecks. I've had 2 broken wrists. I've got a cadaver bone and a plate in my wrist. Back issues, neck issues, shoulder issues, all kinds of things over the years. We did the math. I was talking to Corinne yesterday, and I've had about 10 years of my life where I couldn't work due to surgeries, recoveries, rehab, all that stuff. 10 years I lost in my life not being able to work due to all that stuff. So what I do now is when I work out, I'm actually pretty cautious about it. When I'm doing my pull-ups at 57, I'm not trying to go full lockout and trying to get totally up every, when I do my push-ups, I like to do good form and touch my sternum and do a full lockout, but I'm not doing them enough where, like, if I'm doing them every day, I could get to that point and do high reps that way. But where I'm at now, I'm only doing that a few times a week. So recently I started doing the fast push-ups where I'm getting pretty low and I'm getting pretty high, but I'm not going all the way down or all the way up. And doing that, I can knock, and which is what you normally see. What's accepted for push-ups these days is pretty incredible. But I could do 60 of those push-ups. I could probably do more. Push it, just pop, 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 pop. Quick ones like that. And again, for 57 years old, that's pretty good. I could bend over, touch the floor, walk out on my hands, do all these things. I'm not bragging, by the way. It's not about bragging. This is just never letting it go. A little bit every single day. And just start now. There's this program, if you're really overweight or you've been injured, now you're overweight, or you never worked out before, there's a program called DDP Yoga. DDP. The letter D twice, the letter P once. It stands for Diamond Dallas Page Yoga. So it's just about dynamic resistance. You basically flex all the muscles in your body. You get in a yoga pose and flex all the muscles in your body, and you get your heart rate going. You can pump your muscles up at the same time. There's no jumping, no running, no weights. It's great. Just start with something like that and do little things. Start with a walk. Eventually you're doing a walk at a good pace. Start carrying a little bit of weight around. And before you know it, you're doing it. You are actually ageless. You just don't believe it. Start believing it. Just get out there and start doing something. So I'm going to keep doing this sort of thing so you guys can see. And you know what? If I end up having a freaking coronary, then you can all laugh at me. It won't matter because I won't be around anymore. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This makes me feel good that I can still do it. I intend to have another at least 10 years of this. If I'm around for another 10 years, in 10 years, I'm hoping I can still do this. That's my goal. What's your goal? Thanks for being here. Have a great day. Be good to one another and come back again.